Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of the iMage series with John Seneya. This week is going to be a special edition for you. But I'll remind you, last week we talked about winning before you start, and I'm sure you learned a lot from that.
I learned.
So this week, before we even go on at all, let me introduce my special guest to you. This is Wole Akeju. He's going to ask a lot of questions today, and they will have to do with building confidence before you speak. Aha!
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So, building confidence before you speak. That's what we're talking about this week. And I'm sure you will all agree with me that that really is the crux of the matter. That is a problem that everybody has when you pick up the mic to address an audience. And it's normal. Are you surprised? It's normal. Nervousness is normal. As a matter of fact, the truth is that there are more people scared of speaking publicly than dying. So if you say to someone, would you rather die or face the audience? We found out scientifically that most people would rather die than to face the public. And it's all down to nervousness. Wole,
Yeah.
have you ever
I'm a big victim.
have you ever picked up a microphone and forgotten your name instantly?
With me, it usually starts with the fact that when I pick the microphone, I hear someone else.
You hear voices.
I hear voices. So I get confused.
Yes.
Then tension
Yeah.
pops in and, you know. I think
It's nervousness, really.
Yeah, it's nervousness.
And the truth is that everybody gets nervous in front of a crowd. I tell you, as I sit here, ordinarily I should be nervous, but I did a few things to myself to shroud that nervousness. It's not as if I'm not nervous, but most people can't see it. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
I'm nervous, can you tell?
You're nervous
Can you
and you
tell?
want to know. Now, you'll find that ostriches, when they come out, most times they bury their heads and they show off their feathers.
True.
We don't want you to be an ostrich, right? We want you to be able to come out, face your audience, and be bold. And the trick is this: don't fight the nervousness. It's there, it's natural, it's a natural feeling. And what we say to people is rather convert the nervousness positively to energy.
Energy.
Okay? So remember that your audience is not there to boo you. Your audience is not there to pull you down. Rather, your audience is on your side. And they look up to you. They're expecting something from you. Right? So be rest assured that most of the time, unless you do something wrong, obviously wrong, most of the time your audience is on your side.
Wow.
So if you have that at the back of your mind, it takes away some of the nervousness, okay? But before you even step up onto the stage, you need to prepare yourself physically and psychologically. You want to know what that means?
Yeah.
Psychologically, you talk to yourself. And when I say talk to yourself, you don't say, I am confident, I am not scared. That's not talking to yourself. Talking to yourself will be, you are confident. You are not scared of the audience.
Before you continue,
Yes.
does this apply to, the part where you said your audience are on your side? Does it apply to everybody, every industry? Because I understand if a motivational speaker has an audience, everybody will surely be on his or her side.
Yes.
But in the event of for an artist, a music artist that's mounting the stage to
Yes.
to sing songs,
Yes.
or maybe a first timer or a comedian, you can't tell who is on their side and who is not.
All right.
So I'm really not sure whether
Do you know
have to
how
speak differently for
do you know
different,
how you can tell?
How can you tell?
That audience wasn't dragged to that venue. That audience came to that venue or to that event
Okay.
to see you.
To buttress that, I'm still speaking for entertainment a bit.
Yes.
We've heard of people being fans of this particular artist or that particular artist, and now the event organizers now bring both artists to the same stage.
Yes.
So apparently there will be division. Maybe, for example, when we talk about Wizkid and Davido, before they settle their issues, some people were for Wizkid and some were for
You see,
Davido.
the thing is that most of the time, the crowd is there or the audience is there expecting to receive
Energy?
something from you. All right? They're not there to pull you down. Okay? Now, the cases that you're citing, you know, yes, we may have one or two cases, but very rarely would you find an audience that has come specifically to pull you down.
What about politics? Some for one faction,
It's-
the other for the other faction.
Yeah,
Maybe somebody is there to boo you.
but you have your audience behind you.
It means that the audience can actually be mixed. Some are for some
The
people.
audience can be mixed, right? But you see, those are situations that are very, very rare.
Okay.
If you put it on a scale of 10, right? If you
Okay.
attend 10 events, most of the time, all 10 will be
Yeah.
without hostile audiences. And maybe very rarely you will find a very rare situation where it's a football match like where side A is
Side A and side
yeah,
B.
and, you know. But what we're saying is that generally your audience is on your side
Okay.
because they've come there with expectation, they've come there to hear you, they've come there to pick what you've come to deliver. All right, so they understand that you're nervous, and they forgive you for that. But they don't want you to allow your nervousness to affect their good time, in quotes.
Okay.
So I say to people that you must assume or you must agree that your audience is on your side.
Okay.
Okay? So forget about the nervousness, all right?
I'll focus on
And focus on them. Now, another thing you have to do, I was talking about preparing yourself psychologically.
Okay.
And I said, talk to yourself. You don't say, I, Wale, I am not nervous. Right? Before you get on stage, you can say, you are not nervous. You, rather than I.
Aye.
So it's like someone else talking to you and reassuring you. Mentally, it's stronger
When
than
you're
you
referring-
trying to convince yourself that I, Wale, I am not nervous.
Nervous.
Okay? Now you can also have a sip of water.
It helps.
It helps.
Mm.
Because
Okay.
your vocal cords need to be tuned properly before you pick up the mic. Otherwise, sometimes you pick up your microphone and your throat goes totally dry
Wow.
and you can't utter a word. That's at the height of nervousness. So have a little sip of water before you get on and it will help. You know what I do as well when I have an engagement? I sing a lot. I sing to myself. When I get in the car, I sing and I try
What kind
to
of songs?
any kind of song that catches my fancy at that time.
Okay.
Right? I put on my stereo, my music, I I try to sing along just to exercise my vocal cords. Now, you know what I'll liken that to? You're a member of a football team, and you're a sub, okay? Before the coach lets you onto the pitch, as a matter of fact, even before the match, the coach insists that you all run up and down and you do some
Warm up.
exercises, you warm up. So you need to warm your vocal cords up. Sometimes if you have the time, you can do some light exercises.
Same
It
way
all-
they jog on the pitch.
Yeah.
Do all sorts.
Nothing heavy,
Nothing
right? You can do whatever, a few stretches here and there, just to get your body in tune for the assignment ahead. All right?
Noted.
Now, we've talked about that. One other thing that you can do is when you get to the venue, meet and greet people.
People.
Meet and greet
Greet
people. What it does is that it immediately allows you to loosen up
With people
with people
that you later connect with.
that you'll later connect with. It makes you friends with your audience, okay?
Okay.
And for me, I always find my opening lines from meeting and greeting people,
People.
okay?
Okay.
Because when you're about to start talking to your audience, you need to immediately within the first minute or so, right, establish that you are already friends with them.
Okay.
Okay? About a week ago, I was anchor person at an event. I know what I did. I took the attendance sheet.
Okay.
I looked at the very first person to arrive at the event. Okay? And she wasn't expecting it. But I identified her and I got the entire audience to appreciate her arriving on time.
On time. Which is
That
not usual in
immediately,
Nigeria.
yeah, that was that, yes. that immediately made me friends
With her.
with not only her
Everybody.
but with the entire audience, you know. So it allowed me to break the ice, you know, and quickly get on with what was going to happen. I also, in a bid to be less nervous or confident at the event, I told a few jokes. You don't have to tell jokes if you don't want to, or if you don't know how to, right? You tell stories that will make people a little more relaxed with you
And even connect.
and even connect. We're talking about connecting now.
Connecting with,
All right.
with the audience.
Yes. Another tip is you need to focus on your audience.
Okay.
Focus on your audience. What you call what? Eye contact.
Eye contact, yeah?
Yeah. You can sweep the room from left to right gradually and make eye contact. If you can't manage that, look slightly above the heads of the audience. If you're a shy person like me, I look slightly above the heads of the audience. And then guess what? I pick out a section of the audience that I have already connected with
Okay.
at the opening. Right? Because as you speak with them, you can take note of a few people who have either laughed or smiled
Okay.
or nodded.
So they will be
at
wanting
you.
more.
Yeah. So you keep your attention on those pockets of positive audience
For positive energy.
for positive energy. So you keep talking to them, right? You talk to the pocket of positive audience members on this side, and then you go to the next, okay?
To create more.
And it also helps you occupy and control your space.
Okay.
And all of that is towards helping reduce nervousness.
Okay.
Okay. Now, another thing you need to do is to keep your language simple. No one is there to come and hear you speak
Grammar.
big grammar, right? Unless, of course, even if it's a highly what do you call it, professional or technical event, it's always easier to keep the language simple. So simplify the message. Okay, that's also very key. Another thing is, when you get on stage, you're actually getting on stage.
Mm-hmm.
That means you become an actor
True.
of sorts. You have to act confident. Okay?
Mm.
Even convince yourself that
Yeah,
you're
confident.
confident. Okay? Remind yourself that you're confident. You need to be expressive. All right?
Yeah.
You can use your hands to paint pictures. I'm not asking you to throw your hands everywhere. Okay? But there are certain movements with your hands that help you to express yourself in a little more dramatic fashion,
Okay.
as against standing,
In one at
glued.
one point, yeah.
Yeah. So you need to be a little expressive with your voice, the tone of your voice, the way you glance around, and then you do the magic with a smile. Okay? Try and smile a little more than normal. Well, we're not saying that. We know a smile is different from a laughter.
Laughter, yeah.
Okay? Now, I was hoping that you will ask me a question at this point. That all of what I'm saying, how does it work out for comedians?
Well, I think comedians actually generate laughter already.
Yeah, they're in the business of laughter.
They're in the business of laughter, so
Yeah, they're in the business of laughter, so they are actually allowed to break some of the rules.
they do all the time.
However, I'll remind them that they should be sensitive to the let me use the word again, sensibilities
Okay.
of their audience. A lot of our comedians these days ignore the sensibilities of their audience, and they go a little over the top with the kind of jokes
Let it crack.
that they crack. Not everybody is from the east or from the west or
from
from
Warri.
the south. So you need to be able to assess your audience. Yes, some of them would laugh, but really may not really enjoy the jokes. So I'll just ask them. They're doing a great job, I must say, but I'll just ask them to be a little more sensitive to the kind of jokes that they give to different audiences. Okay. Of course, you need to meet. Like I said earlier, you need to meet and greet people as
connect
often
with
as
them.
connect with them. That's very important. Yes, we've talked about being relaxed.
Yeah.
In the case of church ministers,
Okay.
right? You need to know your content as well, and understand your audience. You know your content.
This church is a very example that I know that everybody is for the pastor.
Well, everybody, you'll be surprised that
Everybody's for the pastor.
As much as it looks like everyone is for the pastor, I tell you that more people are even for the message.
But the message is coming from the pastor.
Yeah, but the message is not what the message is different from the pastor.
It's a recent thing for me that people are now going after just the message. Few
See,
people.
The message is different from the messenger.
True.
Okay, the reason why people go to church, and it has remained so. Forget about all the razzmatazz that we find in some church ministers and pastors these days, right? But the message is the core message, is the core reason why people go to church. So,
True.
for our church ministers and pastors, know where to draw the line between giving the message and showing off the messenger. All right?
Okay.
Some of our audience members may be tempted to run away with the messenger rather than the message.
Okay.
And as church ministers, we really must be careful how we sway them. We already have them captive. All right?
Mm-hmm.
If we tell them to jump, they'll ask how high. So we've got to stick to the purpose of their coming there,
In the first
which
place.
is the message. All right? You need to control the pace of your delivery.
True.
It helps in building confidence, you know. While you're speaking, you need to be deliberate sometimes.
Okay.
You know, you need to be able to emphasize the key words in your message. If you notice, the last thing I said was you need to emphasize. The most important thing in what I was saying a minute or a second, few seconds ago, was emphasize.
That's
Yeah,
quite
the
important,
central
actually.
message.
Yeah.
So it's important that you know where to break your sentences. We call it scoring your script. You need to be able to put the emphasis, inflect, you know, go down at different times,
Okay.
you know, such that the audience receives the message, you know, the way you want it to. I think for now, we should concentrate more on the fact that before you get on stage, it's important that you prepare yourself
Preparation.
mentally and physically,
Basically.
so that your nervousness is shrouded and you do not get on stage and behave like the ostrich.
True.
It's
Don't
the
bury
image
your head all the
series.
time.
It's the image series with John Seneya. And this week we've been looking at building confidence before getting on stage. We'll be back in a moment. Hello and welcome back. This is the image series with John Seneya. I think we've been having a swell time in the studio today.
Serious one.
Wale just said to me that, wait a minute, I have one or two questions to ask you about building confidence before you speak. And what I've said to him, bring it on. Bring it on, Wale.
Okay. It's a scenario that came to mind. Let's say it's my first time on stage, and the microphone goes off. How do I handle that? It's my first time. I'm already shaky.
It's your first time, you're already
My
shaking.
first time, I'm shaky, and microphone
Yes.
goes off.
There's always a first time. Remember the first time you kissed? It probably wasn't the best kiss.
I wasn't shaky.
You knew where you were going.
I wasn't shaky.
But more seriously, again, it comes back to the audience being on your side and the audience understanding your plight. The audience lives in the same environment that you do. The audience knows that your microphone may or may not stay up all through the event. The audience knows that there may be power failure.
This is Nigeria.
This is Nigeria. And it could even be anywhere else in the world. You know,
But Nigeria is peculiar.
accidents do happen. And it's what you make of the accident
Matters.
that matters. Someone said to me that it's like looking at fire, open fire,
Okay.
right? It's either you get scared of it or you make lovely barbecue with it. So rather than wait for the fire to destroy you, you make barbecue out of it. Okay, so it's like, in other words, making the best of a bad situation.
Bad situation. So how do we go about it? What do I do?
How do you go about it? The audience understands. Because if your mic goes off, unless you're in a small room, right? Yes, you can talk about it off mic and continue. Okay? But if you're in a big room, there's very little you can do. If it's a familiar audience,
Okay.
you can get them to collectively do something.
Okay, like engage them.
Engage
without
them
the microphone.
without the microphone.
I've seen someone do
If
that
it's a
before.
church setting,
With
good for you.
entertainment.
You can get them to sing a song. You know, but if you're not able to do anything much, you just have to bear it. Accidents do
I
happen.
drop the mic and walk off
And
stage.
run away. You do all your best, all your possible best to engage the crowd.
I've seen a Nigerian artist actually sing. In fact, got them to start clapping.
Got them to start clapping. That's ingenious. You know, you see what you would do to solve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you probably find within the environment at that time. Okay. It will depend on the kind of audience that you have. It will depend on what kind of problem it is at hand.
Okay.
You know, and spur of the moment. So the important thing is not to panic. Don't panic. You're not going to be skinned alive for it. It's not your fault. And even if it was your fault, okay, well, people will always forgive.
True.
All right. So don't panic. You just have to be ingenious one way or the other and put it under control.
Noted.
Yeah. Good. Once again, I want to remind you that this program is streamed live every Wednesday on clicktvafrica.com/image series. It would be nice to have your questions sent in as we stream live, or you can even, send the questions in to us, and possibly at the next edition we'll be able to answer those questions. Well, Wale, I'm not sure if you floored me this week. I'm sure that by next week
Don't worry, till then
we will have a few more questions.
We'll have more questions, yeah.
And to our viewers, I hope that you've had a very good time today on this program, the iMage series with John Seneya on clicktvafrica.com/image series. I hope to see you again next week when we'll bring you another interesting package on the iMage series with John Seneya. Do have a good day. Bye. So, it's been the iMage series with John Seneya on clicktvafrica.com. You can watch us live. We stream live every Wednesday at 12 noon. I'd love to have the questions rolling from you. And how do you want to send it to me? You can send by email to imageseries@clicktvafrica.com, or you can DM us on any of our social media handles, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. I hope to hear from you again, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.